Rachel, do you have any plans this year for the 4th of July? If you don't have anything figured out for that time, would you like to go on vacation with me? Go on vacation with you to somewhere? Why do you want us to go with you again? Well, when I was at a baseball game last week, I won tickets from a raffle that was held there. But remember that my husband is already gone, so it's just me right now. And so instead of just going by myself, I thought it would be more fun to have you come along with me. The tickets are for a 7-day stay in a cabin out in the mountains, and there will be ATVs that we can ride and some great hiking we can all go on. There's even a nice river that runs nearby that you can both go swimming in if it starts to get hot. Why should we have to come with you, though? You have another son and his wife as well, right? And I'm sure you could find some of your own friends to go with you, right? Well, last year I already went with those two to an all-inclusive resort, and most of my friends aren't that active anymore, so a trip like this wouldn't be something they can enjoy. You did say something about that trip back in the fall of last year. I already had a chance to go out with those two on a vacation, so this time I think it's you and your husband's turn. Sometimes I really do want to just be around my older son and you. Remember that it's almost been a year now since we've last met. You didn't come out for Thanksgiving, and you didn't make it up during Christmas or New Year's as well. So I'd love to have a week of just the three of us together so that we can all catch up a bit and grow closer. I can see that, but I'm okay without going on a trip. Well, if it's the cost of anything else on the trip that you're worried about, I'll be paying. This is not a problem with money. If we join you to go, it'll end up being just the three of us going. You, my husband, and I'm not okay with that. You don't want it to just be the three of us going? I'm sorry, but it's uncool to go on vacations with your single mother-in-law. If you'd really like us to come, have your second oldest son and his wife join us as well. But if you can't do that, then I'm not going. I've thought this for a while, but do you just hate me in general, Rachel? Did I do something that upset you in the past? Nope. And I don't hate you or anything like you've said. I already know that you have some kind of prejudice against me, though, as your mother-in-law. Well, you and I are family now since you've married my son, and so I'd like it if we could all try to get along better. And I thought us taking this vacation would give you and I a chance to become even closer and close the distance that we have had between us. Linda, there are people that fit together, and there are people that do not fit together in this world. And as for you and I, you're just not the kind of person that fits me. I don't fit for you, huh? That's right. So stop trying to force the two of us to be closer when it's impossible. I'm sorry, but it's never going to work and is a waste of time. What about me do you hate so much? If I have something that's bothering you, then I'll try my best to fix it for you. I understand that you are the kind of person that just thinks they can get along with anyone, no matter who they are. But I see you in a different way from all the rest. I know that all you are is someone who sees themselves as the most important. Is that so? And another thing is how much you judge others. I can hear you talking all the time about who is pretty and who is ugly and all of that. But I think you should stop from talking about others until you've looked at yourself. You're talking about me. Do you want people to pamper you because you're so old now? To tell it to you straight, I'm not going to give in to your ways of thinking. I think that the way you are is pretty embarrassing, so I'd like that you and I stay a bit further from one another. So this is how you've been thinking of things all along. Well, are you finally able to see how I feel about you after so long? I'm not going on that vacation with you, and I don't really want the two of us becoming any closer to one another. All right then. I guess I'll be taking my younger son and his wife on this trip. Go ahead and do that, please. From now on, don't even bother inviting my husband and I on anything else. Rachel, I'm not really okay with that. What is going on with you today? And what do you want to talk to me about now? I'm talking about the attitude you had at the funeral just a bit ago. What were you thinking back then? A lot of the other family and friends were shocked by your behavior. So you're talking about the funeral for your recent husband? Stop trying to act dumb right now. I know that you understand everything I'm mentioning to you. I was just making sure to be at the funeral without causing any issues for all of you. I was expecting that you'd come and thank me for being there still, yet now you're going to complain about me. That's because of the attitude you had there today. You had this look on your face as though the whole funeral was a waste of your time and a bother. And then the moment it was over, you bolted out of the building and went home. You didn't even manage to include yourself to any of the other family and friends there. Instead, looking at your smartphone the whole time. Well, to be honest, it was a waste of time being there. And the only reason I came was because my husband asked me to. Why should I actually have to go to a funeral for someone that I only ever met with one time before? I am thankful that you went out of your way to come to the funeral, but if you were going to come in acting like a bratty child, you could have just stayed home at that point. Well, I never wanted to come in the first place. If you have any complaints about me being there, then you go direct them at my husband. Rachel, I get that you do not like me, but when you come to an event that revolves around everyone mourning over the loss of their family and friend, you cannot act like a brat. Uh-huh. What does that mean? Don't you dare start telling me what I can and can't do now. Is it wrong for me to even warn you now? I am your mother-in-law, and I feel okay doing that with you. No, you and I are just strangers. Strangers? We are strangers, right? You and I are not related by blood. So can you stop trying to act like my mother now? It really is a pain in my butt having to listen to you talk like you're the one that raised me. I don't even remember you being the one to give birth to me a long time ago. Right. So to you, all I am is a stranger, right? Yep. I've thought that ever since I got married. Well, just like at the funeral, it seems you're going to start acting like a brat once again. Well, I hope you don't ever act this way when you come to my funeral. No, actually, I'm sure that you wouldn't even come to my funeral in the first place. Well, if you don't need me to go there, then I won't. It's all just an absolute waste of my precious time. I understand everything very clearly now. I'll join you and start to think of you as a stranger, well, from now on. Just as you've always wanted, okay? That'll be fine with you, right? Of course. I feel as though a massive weight has just been lifted off my back now. For a long time now, I just assumed that I'd have to deal with you until the day you croaked, and that I'd have no other choice. Mom, what the hell is going on? What do you want now? It's rare for you to ever message me anymore. Did something happen to my son? It's not about him. My husband is perfectly fine right now. Is that so? Well, then everything must be okay there. So then, why are you still talking to me? Is it true that you're paying for your younger son and his wife to get a new house? What? So you went and contacted me after a year of complete silence to talk about that. Well, I am paying for their new house, but what does that have to do with you? Having to pay for a brand new house to be built is a lot of money, right? That's right. It sure is a lot. I think their total has come out to $300,000. Is that for all the land as well, or just the house being built? I had been given that land a long time ago, so I'm only having to pay for them to have the new house built. You had land that you were never using before? Well, way back in the day, that land was owned by one of my family's friends, and they lived on it. But then they stopped living there for some reason and just vanished, so the house was torn down and the land was just left there. And after it was passed around for a few years, it had finally ended up in my hands. And why are you giving it to your younger son and his wife? My husband is your older son. What about us? What do you mean? I'm talking with you about how you never give us any money or anything. And you know very well about how the two of us just had our own new house built for us. Rachel, what are you going on about right now? Why would anyone give a random stranger money to help build their house? I'm not that stupid, okay? Uh-huh. You and I are strangers, right? You told me that a while back, didn't you? The reason I was willing to pay for their new house to be built was because my younger son and his wife are very close family to me. So it's all because I told you that we were strangers, that you never bothered to give us any money for the new house? That's exactly right, Rachel. We are strangers, and so I'm not going to hand you any money when we're not even supposed to really talk to one another. I was giving you the life you asked for, right? Also, last year you told me no to going on vacation with me, right? I felt as though you hated receiving presents from me after that event. But, that's the thing. It wasn't just the present that you hated receiving, but also the fact you didn't want to go with me. Well, if you really hate me as much as you said you did then why would you want to take any of my money when it's coming from me? Oh, hold on for a minute, Linda. I'd actually love to know why and how you were able to just hand them $300,000 for their new house. Not even my husband knew that you were carrying that large amount of money on you. Well, of course I had been given a large amount of money from my husband when he had passed away. But of course it wasn't just the money that he left for me that allowed me to give that kind of money away for their house. The reason I have had so much financial freedom now is due to my father. Your father? Wait, you're talking about the man you had that funeral for? That's right. Actually, my father had a pretty decent amount of money sitting around after he had passed away. And since my mother passed away around the same time my husband did, my father's money would go to me and my older brother. Uh-huh. So you're saying that your whole family had that kind of money on them? Even though the funeral for him looked so basic and all. You really are such a rude woman. Start speaking like a proper adult. The reason we had such a basic funeral is because my father's friends put it together for him. My father was a huge saver back in the day, and he hated being seen as a rich man when all he really cared about was his family and friends. So even though your father was that rich, not even his grandson, my husband, was able to find out about that? Did you all really manage to keep all that a secret from him? I made sure to tell all my kids about him and his money. I let them know that he was a rich man, although he wouldn't let himself look the part. I'm sure they never believed me when I told them that, though, because of how simple a man my father was. So my husband never chose to believe you, then? To be honest, even I didn't know about how much money my father was carrying until the days after he had passed and I had met with his lawyer. But of course I'd never had known before. But apparently my older brother knew about the money he had a long time ago. And by the way, that house being built for my younger boy and his wife is a part of what my father had asked for. So that's what's been going on. I knew something strange was going on. I never even heard about you having land that was just sitting around. Well, I didn't have anything that I could use the land for. And my brother was the one that got my father's house after he passed. I was just given that piece of land and money in the end. And since my younger son wanted to build a new house, I thought it was the perfect chance to have that land put to use. And so I considered all of that as his grandfather giving him that land to use. So, What? If you're asking about yourselves, there is nothing for you both. I only had that one piece of land and it was going to my younger boy and his wife. But because of me only receiving that little piece of land, the rest of what I got from my father was all money. They are planning on having a baby soon as well, after the house is ready. So when that baby comes into this world, I'll make sure to give them a little bit more money as a present for bringing my first grandbaby.
That's screwed up. All you're doing is caring for those two.
What do you want me to say? This is all what you wanted from the start, right?
But back then, I didn't think things would turn out like this.
Well, if you're starting to regret us becoming strangers, then you can try and act a bit nicer towards me, and maybe I'll consider you family again. How much longer do you plan to act like a jerk towards me?
Good morning, Linda. Do you think that me and my husband can come over to see you?
Come on now. Tell me what's going on this time. This is the first time I've ever heard you ask to come over to my house.
Well, I wanted to come over and apologize for everything that's happened between the two of us.
I don't need your apologies. I'd rather just the two of us stay complete strangers, okay? I think by staying distant, it'll benefit us both.
I'm so sorry for everything that I've done, though. Linda, can we take back calling one another strangers from now on? Please forgive me. Please let my husband and I back into your family.
But you had told me before that it was impossible for you and I to get along, right? So the two of us becoming family again is going to be a bit too difficult, I think. And I don't want us to have to force one another to become happy together.
That's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean?
Really, I was looking up to you so much, Linda.
I highly doubt that crap, Rachel.
I'm being serious. I was jealous of you, actually. You are way older than me, yet you get to look so beautiful, like you're my age or even younger. You always got to have everyone find an interest in you. And I was really wanting to be like you in every way because you are just so perfect.
So, because of how jealous you were of me, you had to act like a brat?
Well, whenever I was around you or had to talk to you, I felt awful inside. So that's why I had said some terrible things and wanted you and I to become strangers. I'm so sorry about all of that.
Oh, so me being around causes you to be in pain then? I'm so sorry as well for never realizing something as serious as that. Well, just like you said, it's better that you and I don't treat one another like family after all.
No, I'm over all of that now.
Actually, I have some problems with you being around me as well. So that's why I think you and I can never truly become family. I think that just having my younger son and his wife around will do. My son's wife and him are both very nice to me, and she loves to hang out when she gets the time to.
Please just forgive me. I promise that I'll never act like a brat or say anything rude to you ever again.
Jeez. The moment that you learned about the money I have, you changed your attitude towards me on a dime. Do you really want the money that I have that badly?
That's not what any of this is about. I just thought that maybe it was time you and I started to work towards having a closer family relationship with one another.
Could you stop trying to say all that bullcrap to me? I've already heard enough about you, Rachel. You ended up having a house built that is way out of your financial zone. And so now that most of the house is complete and all the bills are being processed, the cost is a lot more than you first thought.
Well, we were just given so many options to choose from when planning the house, and at some point we went a little overboard with it. We really never meant to put all our money into the house. But now with all the loans we've had to take out on the house, there's no way we're going to be able to have the kids we've wanted to have soon. I really wanted to start having kids this year, but now I'll have to give up on that dream.
Well, with the way you think and act towards others, I think it's better that you don't have any kids. If you started to raise your own kids, they'd all turn out as bad as you, or would be put through hell being around you all the time.
But I want them. But right now, we are not able to pay off all our loans. Do you think you could help us pay for them?
I can't do anything about your problems. If you're having that much trouble paying for all that house, then maybe it's time you sold the place.
I don't want to sell this house. I was finally able to make the house of my dreams.
I don't want this. I hate that. If you're just going to complain about everything in life, you're going to lose it all and be left with nothing.
What do you mean by that?
I got a call from my son. I'm talking about your husband, okay? He says that he really messed up marrying you.
He said that? Well, I never heard anything from him about any complaints.
He said that when you weren't able to control him like you had hoped to, you began to tear into him. And he couldn't take any more of the arguments you'd get into. And so he called me, telling me that he's begun to think about getting a divorce from you so he can end all his own suffering.
A divorce? So now he plans to just throw me away? Why would he do that?
Well, the problem that started it all for him was the way you acted back at the funeral for my father. Back then, he never imagined someone like you acting that way towards his own grandpa. And after that funeral, you and him got into a pretty heated argument over what had happened, right?
Well, a small argument. But you can't call what happened then a heated argument. He just told me that he didn't want me acting like a child anymore around us.
But then you freaked out on him for saying that, and he had to shut himself up, right? He didn't even say anything that was wrong to you. Rather, he just wanted to keep you from being a jerk to everyone else, and you took that as a chance to tear into him. And when it came to having your house built, he said that you guys wouldn't have the money for the place, but you went ahead anyway and signed all the papers allowing the start of construction. I think him getting rid of you is the correct choice now.
I hate this. I'm not going to let him divorce me.
Well, then you go and tell that to my son instead of me. Telling a complete stranger all of that stuff is a waste of your precious time, right?
I'm asking you to please help me, Linda. I'm not asking you to give me all your father's money. But at the very least, give me enough to pay for the house, and that will be good.
Remember that this money is all from my father, though. Yet when we were all mourning his death at the funeral, you acted like a complete idiot, only thinking about yourself and how little his death affected you. So don't you feel like a jerk asking me to give you some of his money when you said his funeral was a waste of your time?
Fine, then I'll go to his gravestone and ask him.
I don't need you going anywhere near my father's gravestone. He is sleeping quietly, and he doesn't need some brat causing him all kinds of trouble. I have nothing else to talk to you about now, Rachel. So when we are done here, don't try and talk with me again.
Am I really going to be divorced by my husband? Do you not have a care in the world about what's going to happen to your oldest son and his wife? Our marriage is in danger right now.
And who cares? My younger son and his wife are amazing. So only having them around is just fine by me. The divorce of a stranger and my son has nothing at all to do with me and my family. After that, Rachel continued to cry and whine that she didn't want a divorce, and even came all the way to my house to apologize. But I didn't listen. And after that, the relationship she had with my older son turned into a huge mess that was never going to be fixed. Rachel, with the little money she had left, didn't want a divorce to happen as she'd be left with nothing. But my son had had enough of her, and so the divorce could not be stopped by Rachel, no matter how hard she tried to make him feel bad for her. He ended up having the lawyer split their properties, but there wasn't much there to work with, considering that they only just had the house built and had very little money. In the end, he was given the house since his name was on it, and he put most of his money into it. And Rachel was given just a little bit of whatever money he did have. After that last meeting, she went back home to her parents, which let her back into their house on the condition that she had a place of her own within the next 2 months. And after the divorce, my son took the newly built house that he was allowed to keep and sold it with all the furniture and everything, getting back a lot of money that immediately went into paying off the rest of the remaining loans. And once that was all taken care of, my son came to me over and over again apologizing for whatever Rachel had done to me, and for him not trying harder to stop her. And after hearing all of that from him, I forgave him. But I told him that any other woman he brought into the family would have to go through me first and be judged whether or not they could marry him, unless he wanted to be disowned for choosing another brat. However, he only replied to me by saying he had no plans to get married ever again, and that was that. I'm sure that after having a child like her around him all the time, complaining and making things all about herself, he was completely tired and found that being single is way more relaxing and good for the health.
Kate, I'm sorry this happened. It's all my fault. I'm really sorry this time. I never expected to run you over with my car.
It was an accident. Don't worry about it too much. Both Daniel and I understand. Everything's gonna be fine.
But I caused the accident while I was driving my car. And you also broke your right arm. I can't just get over it.
It wasn't life-threatening, so I'm okay. You were lucky it was me. If you had a car accident with someone else, it could have been a bigger problem.
Yeah, I was really lucky. But it was definitely unlucky for you, Kate. You let me off the hook so easily.
Well, we're relatives. I just want you to learn from your mistakes. I don't plan to ask you to pay me money or anything.
Really? Are you sure?
I don't want our relationship to get awkward because of it. I'm your daughter-in-law. You're gonna be my mother-in-law for the rest of my life. Plus, the insurance company paid me money to cover for my fees.
Thanks, Kate. I'm really sorry. It's all my fault, yet you're so kind to me. I hope I can do something in return.
If so, could you get a traffic mirror? I've been asking you this several times already. It's pretty dangerous near your parking lot.
Yes, for sure. My husband got it as soon as I had an accident.
It's difficult to look out for other cars and pedestrians when you park your car. I think the bad visibility caused this accident.
I should have listened to your advice earlier. If only I had it before this accident, I might have been able to prevent it from happening. I'm really sorry.
We can't change what already happened. As long as we learn from our mistakes, it's okay. It's something from the past.
But, oh, Kate, I have an idea. How about you move in with us for a while?
Uh-huh. Move into your house.
I heard you were about to leave the hospital. I bet you still can't use your arm. Daniel's also on his business trip, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right, but I don't want to be a burden to your family.
There's nothing to worry about. I bet it's hard to do everything by yourself with just your left arm. Let me help you, Kate. We'll look after you until you recover.
Really?
Of course. You're more than welcome. I'll be glad if you can accept my offer.
All right, if you say so. Thanks so much.
I'll pick you up on the day you leave the hospital. Before we head to my house, we'll stop by at your house so that you can get some necessities.
Okay, thanks a lot. Kate, I'm sorry to ask you to buy so many things. Is your arm okay?
Yes, I'm perfectly fine. I want to express my gratitude for having me in your house. Going shopping for groceries actually helps me exercise too.
I'm glad to hear that.
You've been so nice to me. I can't just do nothing at home. It feels nice to do housework once in a while.
Really, I hope you don't mind. You're really good with your hands, Kate. You managed to do housework with just your left arm. Doesn't it feel weird?
I'm actually surprised myself that I'm managing it. There are still many things I can't do, though.
You're doing really well. You'll be able to live your normal life again in no time.
I hope so. There's still some time until Daniel comes home from his business trip. I really hope I get better until then.
If so, do you want to try doing some more housework?
Huh? What do you mean?
You know, the housework I'm asking you to do now is easy. Like going to shop for groceries and doing some laundry.
Well, I guess it's still really hard for me to cook.
Right, but I think it's best if you start getting used to other things as well. Maybe start doing some housework on your own.
I think I get what you're saying.
Don't you agree? I'm glad you understand. We really have similar mindsets.
But, you know, I think it might still be hard for me. As I told you earlier, I can't do complicated stuff.
Be confident. You can do it. It's gonna be a big help if you can help me around the house. And I think it's also best for you. So, how about we give it a try?
If you insist. But I hope you understand that things can still be hard for me. Please go easy on me.
Of course, I completely understand.
Thanks. I'll try my best then.
Great. Then I have a favor to ask you. Could you get some more groceries?
More? I thought this was it for today.
I always list only a few things when you go shopping. I thought it might be hard for you to bring everything home. But now that I don't have to worry about it anymore, I'll give you the full list of things I want you to get.
Okay. Send me the full list.
Thanks. You're a big help. I'll send it to you later. We'll do some housework together when you come home, okay?
As soon as I get home?
The earlier we start, the better. It's better to get used to it fast.
Okay.
Thanks for helping with the housework, Kate. We'll work hard together. Kate, how was your visit to the hospital? Are you on your way home?
Yeah, I'm heading home. The doctor told me I was getting better.
Oh, it's nice to hear that. You've been out since early morning, so there's still a lot of housework left to do. Make sure you finish them when you get home.
Can we talk for a moment? I don't want to tell you this, but I think you're asking too much from me.
Too much?
I'm doing most of the housework. To be honest, I haven't seen you do anything. Let me make it clear. I'm injured.
What do you mean? You can still use your left arm. And you're really good with your hands. You can live in my house. Can't you at least do some housework?
I want to ask you something. Didn't I come to stay with you so that I can recover? I don't think this is helping me recover.
If you're capable, you should do it. I thought you said it made you feel good. Why are you complaining all of a sudden?
I was talking about the minimum. You can't just make me do everything around the house. You haven't done any housework recently.
Shut up. Just come home and do the housework. Don't complain just because you're injured.
Seriously. Why do you think I'm injured? I thought you said it was an accident. Why do you have to bring that up? Shut up and do your work. Oh, I see. You're over. Goodbye. Uh-huh. What do you mean? What's over? I was just talking to myself. I'm glad I got to know your honest feelings. I thought I might be honest with you, too. You don't make any sense. Forget it. Just come home and do the housework. Or I'll never forgive you. No, I'm never going to your house again. Daniel is coming home today from his business trip. I'll go and get my stuff with him after he gets home. Daniel is coming home already? I thought that wasn't the plan. Well, plans are bound to change. You'll understand soon. Thanks for having me. Things are gonna get hard for you, but good luck. What do you mean? I won't forgive you if you don't come home. How about the housework? Do it yourself. I'm gonna get busy, so I can't waste my time on you. Goodbye. Kate, a lawyer sent me a letter about our accident and compensation money. What's going on? Everything should be clear. As it says on the letter, I'm asking you to pay for compensation. Apparently, I can still ask you for it, so I decided to do so. What are you thinking? I thought you said you won't be asking me for money. Back then, that was what I planned. We didn't even discuss about it properly. I still have the right to ask you for compensation. How can you bring this up again? Why are you doing this to me? I thought I told you this before. I told you I won't be asking for money as long as you learn from your mistakes. So what? I learned from my mistakes. Don't be ridiculous. Try reflecting on your actions. You definitely didn't learn from your mistakes. What did I do? I got a traffic mirror near my parking lot. And I even offered you to stay with our family until you recover. I'm clearly trying to make it up for you. See? I never asked you to take care of me. And you made me do all the housework. I thought you were capable of doing housework. Come on, this isn't much of a problem. Considering my injury, you should know that it's hard for me to do housework. But you still did it. You never complained, too. I told you it was too much for me, but you never listened. You kept on saying that I should do something in return. But you were technically forcing me to do so. How can you act like this when I'm injured because of you? That's your interpretation. I never intended to do so. I'm not the villain here. If you really think you did the right thing, be confident with yourself. There shouldn't be any problem even if I sued you. Why are you suddenly silent? I thought you did nothing wrong. I am sorry about the accident, but I don't understand why you want to sue me. Well, that's up to me, isn't it? I don't care how you feel about it. And by the way, I'll also sue you regarding how you've been treating me. What do you mean? As I said earlier, while I lived with you, you treated me pretty harshly. Not only that, you made me get injured. You also treated me like a housemaid. So I decided to sue you regarding both of these things. Don't be ridiculous. How can you sue me for just those things? Don't you realize that's why you're being sued? I have proof from when I lived with you. And I also have these conversations recorded. I think I have a pretty high chance of winning this case. Hey, wait a moment. Is Daniel home from his business trip? What did he say about this issue? I'm guessing he's asking you to stop all this nonsense. Why would he? He's the one who decided to sue you. He's even planning to break relations with you. You have to be kidding. I'm his mother. His real mother. If you can't believe it, go and ask him directly. Let's meet in the courtroom. There's no use arguing right now. Please, listen to me. I am so sorry. Let me apologize for everything. If you want money, I'll pay you as much as you want. Don't sue me. Please, it's ridiculous. I thought you already received a letter from my lawyer. It's too late. If you regret everything, blame yourself. I'm looking forward to seeing how this ends. As I planned, I sued my mother-in-law and successfully won the case. Not only that, I got some compensation from the accident. I was also able to receive some more money regarding how she planned everything beforehand. I'm not sure why she offered me to stay at her house in the first place, but from the evidence, it was judged to be premeditated. My mother-in-law and her family are currently having a hard time gathering enough money to pay for compensation. Shortly after I got home from her house, my arm fully recovered, and now I'm back to living my normal life. Housework felt so easy after completing them with just one arm when I was living with her. I guess I was the one who benefited most through this incident. Hello, Ellie. Do you have a little bit of time to talk with me right now? Hi, Judith. I can spare a little time right now, but only for around 15 minutes because I have other things to deal with today. Thank you. I think you may have already heard from Sid, but I sent you guys a fruit basket in the mail. I think they'll be to your house by tomorrow afternoon since I chose the fastest mailing option. It should come sometime in the morning, so can you please make sure to be home for that when it arrives so it doesn't sit on your guys' porch and spoil? A fruit basket? I've never heard anything from him about that. Did he really not let you know that is supposed to be arriving soon? Well, recently I received a lot of fresh fruit from one of the farmers near my house. Apples, pears, cherries, and so on. And since I'm only living here with my husband, the amount of fruit was way too much for the two of us to eat before it gets bad. And so I asked Sid if you and him would eat some of the fruit for us. I was thinking making and sending a basket of fruit to you guys would be a great way to pass some of my time as well and keep it all from going to waste here. And my husband said he'd take all of that fruit. Yep, he told me to send it all to him so you guys could take care of it. I assumed that he would tell you all about that, but sorry that he is so forgetful sometimes. No problem, he's always been that way around me. Well, I'll let him know that after this, he has to start informing you about things that actually affect you. Oh, while I still have you, next month we are going to be having a barbecue with my oldest son and his wife. If you guys have the time, I'd love that you and Sid come out as well to join us. There will be that 3-day weekend, right? And since the weather is supposed to be nice around then, we're pulling the grill out in the backyard and we'll be doing burgers and brats on it with all sorts of vegetables. We'll be fine without going. We like to have our time off to ourselves to relax and be home alone together. I see. I can understand that reasoning. And after all, you guys have only just gotten married. So I'm sorry for asking you guys to come out when you're both probably very busy still with post-marriage things and cleaning up the house after moving in. No worries. You don't have to bother with either of us for right now. And I'm happy to hear that you are understanding of our situation. But if you guys do change your minds and want to come after all, let me know ahead of time. That way we can have food for you both as well when you get here. Judith, are you close with your oldest son's wife? I am. Her and I both share similar hobbies and we go out together a lot. I'd say she's like the daughter I never had since I have spent most of my life surrounded by men. Is that so? I I'm sure that what I'm about to say will come off as a little rude, but I don't think I really want to be around my mother-in-law on my days off. I'm sure that a lot of people don't want to spend all their time off with their in-laws. But when it comes to my oldest's wife, Cassie, she loves to be around us and enjoys the time we both spend together. And I'm sure that you are only thinking that because you feel as though she likes you. And until she tells you outright that she loves to be around you all the time, maybe you should just assume that it's actually a hassle for her. I know that it may not seem that way, but I'm sure she's just putting on a face so that you won't start to become upset with her. Okay then. Thank you for telling me, and I'll make sure to think of both your feelings some more moving forward. Please do that. I'm glad you are so willing to understand our feelings, Judith. And so for the time being, how about you and I, and even you and Cassie, have a bit more of a distant relationship? I think that's the best way to make sure that this whole family is happy and not overwhelmed. Judith, this is Allie. I just heard from my husband. Next week, you guys are planning on going out to eat with your oldest and his wife, right? Good evening, Allie. That's right. They seem to have gotten us all a reservation at a pretty expensive restaurant so that we can all have a little fine dining experience. And we had been talking about you and Sid also joining us, so I asked Sid how you both felt. Well, Judith, did you forget what I had told you a while back? Are you talking about how you told me that you don't really like to meet with me on your days off? So you did remember all of that. I was starting to think that maybe you were beginning to show signs of dementia or something. But this time it may sound like a poor reason to you, but your brother-in-law and Cassie were the ones that put this whole dinner together. My oldest and his father both have birthdays that are close together, so they wanted to celebrate it all at the dinner. And so we were thinking that maybe you guys would also like to come and celebrate with us. It'll be at a really nice Chinese restaurant in town, and I know how much Sid likes his spicy foods. I'm assuming it was you then that was totally fine with asking something like that of us, right? Not something that either of them told you to ask us about. Well, yes, but normally you should be able to tell them that it's not happening when they bring it up, right? I think that they both were just wondering about Sid and I, and that was your moment to tell them it wouldn't happen. I believe that you may have gotten ahead of yourself a little here. I'm sure that even Cassie doesn't want you joining them. This time, I'd say let them both and your husband go out and maybe stay at home so that you don't cause Cassie any more problems. Maybe you're right. I am right, Judith. For starters, making up some kind of event where you'd like us all to be there with you is a bit strange to me. I'd like it if you really began to understand what I meant when I asked for us all to be a bit more distant with you. I'm sorry about that, Allie. Well, I think I understand now that asking things like that from a thick-skulled woman like you is useless. I'll tell you straight. I do not want you asking me to go out with you when you already know it's not happening. Besides, things like emergencies within the family and whatnot, I do not want you talking to me. So when you have things you think you want to invite me to, think again and forget about me. That'll be the last time I tell you this without causing a fuss. All right then. But I'm telling you that this was in no way me forcing you to come and join us. I just assumed that by letting you know about the event and that you're more than welcome to come, you wouldn't feel as stressed out by me. And me letting Sid know about this was because he's my son, and I'd rather him tell you all about that than me. Is that your reason then? Well, if that's what your reasoning really is, then all of this talk between you and I has been for nothing. After this, don't ever invite Sid nor I out with you guys. And another thing, you sending us anything through the mail is unnecessary. By doing that, you force us to have to call and thank you for the gifts. I understand your feelings very clearly now. I'm very sorry for getting you so worked up over things between you and I. From now on, I'll no longer invite you to anything, and I won't send anything else in the mail to you both. Please and thank you. I have married your son and become his wife now, but I did not marry him with the intent of being family with you all. But that's only natural of me, right? I have been going out with Sid for the longest time now, and I never made an effort to be around you all, right? Yeah, that is right. I only just got married to him, so stop trying to get me to join you all now because it's annoying for me. And I know for a fact that Cassie feels the same way about all of this. I'm sorry, but there is not a wife in this world that likes to be around her in-laws as much as you think they do. Take a good look at the real world for me, please. Judith, I have gotten your gifts to me from when you went overseas. Hello, Allie. I know that you might have gotten some gifts from overseas, but they're not from me. I know that. These are all from my brother-in-law, right? Yes, that's right. But he told me that he doesn't need you telling him thanks or anything for all those treats. Seems that Sid asked him to get all of those things for you while he was out of the country. Well, I'm not actually talking to you right now because of the sweets that were brought back for me. Is that so? What all did you want to talk about then? I want to talk with you about the vacation that was taken out of the country. You went with all of them together, right? Don't tell me that you're thinking that this is me trying to do anything by being close with them and taking time to go visit another country. Oh, I am. I'm very surprised by just how awful a person you really are. Uh-huh. I told you before to stop trying to talk to the rest of us, right? But you're just trying to make fun of me now by going out of your way to be with Cassie and them. Are you not embarrassed to be as bad of a person as you are? I wasn't trying to make fun of you or anything, though. Well then, why did you do nothing with Sid and I? Only taking them overseas without us is terrible of you. Wait, I'm sorry, Allie, but I have no clue what you just said to me. I thought you were upset with me over being around them again. But you're upset that I didn't do anything with you guys involved? I was just doing as you had told me when you asked that I never talk to you guys or invite you anymore. And I was just letting Cassie and my son know that I really wanted them to come along with us out of the country for a bit. So you took the two of them to Europe, but then left Sid and I here with nothing? Uh-huh. Just as I've pointed out, you're trying to separate Sid and I from Cassie and your oldest. Stop that, please. Are you trying to harass me or something? That's terrible of you. If you're not trying to make fun of me and make me feel left out, then next time take us with you when you go overseas. Uh-huh. That's what's going on here. Well, then you can pay me $10,000 as well. Uh-huh. Why should I have to pay you $10,000? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You guys are the ones that should be paying for the trip, right? Well, that last trip we took, we all split the whole bill amongst ourselves so that we'd all have to pay for the trip a little. That last trip was $5,000 a person. And when I asked them last time to come with us, they paid $10,000 for their tickets and hotel, and we paid $10,000 for ours. You are lying to me right now. Cassie, she told me that you guys brought them along with you like they didn't have to pay a dime. That might just be something that she forgot to tell you. Maybe she meant that because my husband and I did a lot of talking to get us around Europe. My husband is pretty fluent in Italian, and I'm okay in French, so that came in handy quite a lot. And so when we went over, we handled all the things like directions and ordering food, so to them it felt like we were taking them both around for free. So you guys didn't have to pay for a tour guide or anything to help? That's right. I mean, when we go out to eat, we'd sometimes take the bill, and sometimes they would. But on this trip, we all paid for it equally. But they didn't have to worry about any sort of translator or tour guide. So they really didn't have to pay for that last trip, did they? You allowing them to go without having to pay up is wrong. You haven't done anything for Sid or I, and are now asking us to pay to go out with you all. Do you know how much it hurt me having to listen to Cassie tell me all about the trip you guys took? Allie, have you forgotten all of the things you'd been telling me before? You said you didn't want to be around the rest of us, right? Well, when it comes to money, it's another story. Excuse me? I bet if your oldest and Cassie had a baby, and Sid and I had one at the same time, you'd care more about their baby than you would about ours, right? I can see right now that you wouldn't even bother giving our kid any presents for Christmas because you'd spend all your money on theirs. Really, what are you talking about now? I'm being very serious when I say that I'm not trying to treat any of you guys any different from one another, okay? But you have to understand, as the mom, I like to pay for some things for everyone to enjoy when going out, alright? However, you asked for me not to include you guys in our events, so I never wanted to tell you anything like that. My God. This really is you harassing me. I don't think this conversation is getting anywhere now. I'm even the younger and more attractive-looking wife compared to Cassie. Yet you don't feel any drive to be more nice and caring to me. I only just got married to Sid and joined this family, and I'm already starting to feel regrets about it. And I was trying to talk to you more and invite you to join us all the time. Well, if you feel sorry for the way you've made me feel, then you take Sid and I on a vacation overseas with you. All expenses paid. I really wanted to go to Europe as well. Well, if you both can amass $10,000 to pitch in for that kind of trip again, then we'd be glad to take you both along. Just think, my husband and I will also be paying that much. So the total for a trip like that is $20,000. Even though when you took Cassie and your oldest, you didn't have them pay. They did pay for that trip, just not for a lot of other stuff we did along the way. And we were the ones that invited them that time, so we weren't going to force them to pay for all the trip when it was my husband and I that wanted them with us. Judith, my husband, Sid hasn't come back home yet. I don't know anything about that. Why are you all acting like you don't care about me right now? I am the wife of your younger son, and I'm asking you about him. But you had said that you were not enjoying having me as your mother-in-law anymore. I'm really worried about him right now. And also, I know that this has all happened because of you guys. This is our fault. It sure is. It's because of you becoming closer to your oldest and his wife that a fight broke out. Well, this is all different from what I've heard. What he told me is that he couldn't take your selfishness any longer and had to do something. You guys didn't have the money, yet you went beyond what he had said to you and reserved a trip to go to Europe, right? So you do know where Sid is right now? You have it all wrong. All he did was come over to my place after finishing work to apologize to us. So he's here with us. Why was he apologizing to you both? Because you started making a fuss of this whole family and caused unnecessary drama. What? I'm not just talking about how you said I was making fun of you, or when you started to say that I was harassing you. You started to talk a lot more with Cassie as well, right? You started saying that she was being a butt kisser for always being around me, and a whole bunch of other horrible things about us. Well, that's because she was doing things that she shouldn't have been doing. What things wasn't she supposed to be doing, Allie? It's because she was getting too close to you and making you think that she liked you that you started to treat her to everything. So I was just warning her to never do anything like that again with you and to just leave you behind. And why do you think that she has to listen to what you say? I was just letting her know what I thought since her and I are both young wives in the family.
Is that so? Well, if that's okay with you, then I'd like to tell you some things that I think as your mother-in-law. Allie, I no longer want anything to do with you, and I never will again. So stop trying to get my family all riled up like you have before, okay?
You're the one that's causing all kinds of problems with the family. And you asking that I never talk to you again also means that I'll never be able to tell you about any emergencies, right? That right there is you harassing me and asking for me to be in trouble.
You stop it with that bullcrap right now. Do you still not see that you've been causing loads of trouble for everyone else in the family? If you think this is me harassing you, then go ahead and keep thinking that. I already told my son how I feel about you as his wife, and he's come to agree with me. Never try to talk to me like this ever again.
You're a jerk. So this is your way of getting a fresh new wife in the family to leave then?
Fine. Then let me ask you this, since you have done a piss-poor job of explaining it to me thus far. What kind of relationship would you like to have with my family? I wanted you to feel like you were a part of this family, and that's why I was always asking you to come out and join us. But you told me that me doing that was a bother to you.
I did say that, but
you warned me about becoming too close with my oldest and his wife. And you told me that if I'm to invite you guys on any vacations, I have to be the one to pay for it all. And you ended up saying hurtful things to both myself and to your sister-in-law.
I don't think that you can start treating me like this when I'm a part of your family.
You told me that you didn't see the rest of us as your family. And for a long time now, you never bothered to treat any of us like your family either. So was that all a lie, and you really do want us to be your family?
I don't think of you as my family. But when it comes to how the world sees it, we are still family.
Fine, then I'm going to tell you what I really think of all this. The only people that have to love you unconditionally are your own two parents.
I'm done here. I'm going to tell my parents about all this. And I'll make sure that you beg for forgiveness about taking so much time away from me. And you're going to regret every time you thought it was fun harassing me.
I wonder about how that'll all turn out for you. Because what from Sid's told me, he says that you and him haven't been doing too well together as a couple. And since you didn't think of us as family, there is no problem with me ignoring you.
Uh-huh.
Well, if that's how it's been, then that's that. Goodbye forever, Allie.
Hold on a second, please. Is this all happening because of you? Don't tell me that my husband is going to divorce me or something now over this.
I haven't told him to do anything like that. Whatever happens next between you two is for you and him to decide on.
Well, you tell him that he needs to think a bit more about us before making any stupid decisions.
You want me to say that to him?
Tell him that I was acting the way I had been out of any sort of spite towards you, okay? I just thought that it was a good idea to tell you how I felt.
Is that what you'd been thinking? Well, at this point, whatever happens between the two of you has nothing to do with me.
I don't want to get a divorce yet, though.
Well, then you go and tell that to him instead of me, okay?
But right now, him and I are in a fight with one another. I don't think that he'll be willing to listen to me now after the fights we've had.
I think if it's something really important to you, then my son will be all ears for you. But I'm not sure that he'll change his mind after whatever you try and tell him.
Judith, do something about this. Please. I'll make sure that from now on, I join all of you guys in your family events. And when I come, I won't make any complaints about anything. And I won't be rude to you anymore. And I'll make sure to stay on good terms with Cassie.
I don't need you forcing yourself to act nice, so don't bother. Also, if you had the idea in your head that you were saying rude things to me but still continued with it, why wouldn't I still be mad at you?
I'm sorry, but you have gone too far recently. And because of that selfishness, things are falling apart between you and your husband. I think you're the only one that hasn't been getting a good look at the real world. After that, Sid and Allie got together and talked about getting a divorce or not. But because of the amount of crying that Allie came to him with, and the amount of times she apologized to him, the divorce didn't happen. However, even after forgiving her and letting her stay with him, Allie continued to complain about me and Cassie because I was still being nice to Cassie and not nice enough to her. I did my best to just ignore Allie from that point on and leave her with Sid watching over her. But she got to the point where every day she'd be messaging my oldest and his wife about me. And so after a whole year of that crap had gone on, my son had really had enough of her and divorced her without even giving her a chance to cry to him. When the talk of the divorce started to come back around, Allie's parents tried to get between them and help things out. But of course, they had some things to comment about regarding Allie, and she went off on them for sounding like they were on Sid's side. Fortunately, Allie's wish of never getting a divorce from Sid never came true, and things ended between them, even after her parents tried to help. And at that point, her parents were agreeing with Sid on his reasons for the divorce. And so after getting her to sign the papers, they took her away by force so that Sid could have some peace of mind. Right now, she has shut herself into her parents' house, and ever since she went back there, we have never had to see her again. Her parents even seemed to be pretty disappointed in her for the way she acted around us, and told me over the phone that they never wanted any of this to happen to us. And as one last act of them showing that they were sorry for her, they sent us a few boxes of chocolates and a note, and that was our last time ever hearing about Allie and her family. I think some would say that had she been a bit more kind towards us, or at least changed after their close call with divorce that first time, she'd still be a part of the family. But even after that first time and she was allowed to stay with Sid, she never once came to my oldest and Cassie or me to say she was sorry for the way she acted. So I think we all knew in this family that things would never work out for her. And to be honest, I do not regret having her leave this family whatsoever. I think this was all due to the problems she has with her heart and mind, and nothing to do with Sid or the rest of us. Actually, because of what had happened, I have become even closer with Cassie, since we both shared the same experience of being hurt by Allie. I do feel really bad for Sid that he lost his wife after everything, but right now this whole story is so much fun to laugh at. I know that not all women like to be around their in-laws all the time when they join the family, and so that's why I didn't try and force her to be a part of our events. But Allie got upset because I was doing the exact thing she had asked me to do. I was tired of holding back, and that's why I put down my shield and attacked her. I don't think anyone should have become so close to someone that only focuses on themselves and no one else. So I'll make the point that I was not trying to harass her very clear by becoming even more kind with Cassie whenever she's with me, as well as to both my boys. And if the time comes that Sid does find another woman to get married to, I'll do the same thing as I did with everyone else and ask her to be around the family without forcing her to be.